Well, hello and welcome everybody. It is Denver Broncos tonight. Hold on, let me adjust my new camera real quick. All right. All right. Um yeah, overall, you guys are now getting a different point of view of me. Um yeah, overall, let me know what you guys are thinking about the camera quality, and you guys can now see my baby face up close because I shaved today. But yeah. Um just going to wait for a couple of y'all to pop in here and let's see what we got going on. Either way, you saw the title of this video. It's called Will Bo Nix Bounce Back? Actually, I tried to title it Will Bo Nix Bounce Back? Uh, all right, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Either way, so yeah, I see we already got one person in here. What's up? Hope y'all are doing fantastic on this Saturday, November 15th, 9:19 p.m. It's the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow. Oh, it's Andy. Yeah, man. It's unfortunate that this didn't happen like I don't know, a week or two beforehand because now we have to roll the rest of the year with what we have. And I don't know, it's just really unfortunate that that's where we're at. But oh well, I expect everybody to make the most of the opportunity. I expect everybody to, really, really dial it in. I expect Bidet and McLaughlin to do their best to turn up and really, really show Broncos country what they're about. Um, as always, I got my handy dandy red cup for our stream tonight. But yeah, as always, you guys are what makes the show this show. So drop a comment, come chill with me. Just let me know what you were thinking about in the comment section down below. And yeah, real quick, I'm going to pull it up on my TV so I can see the chat not once, but not in not one place, but two places as well. Yeah, overall, sorry, I got razor burn. I got razor burn because I just guess I didn't do that good of a job of shaving my face, but we move on. We move forward. All right, I'm trying to find out. All right, so either way, yeah, guys. Uh, if you guys are not familiar with the show, it's just me yapping about the Broncos, and I do it. I try to come on basically every night I can. Either way, Saturday, November 15th, 9:20 p.m. I want to talk about Bo Nix. I want to know, do you guys think Bo Nix is going to have a bounce back game against the Kansas City Chiefs? Because honestly, there's reasons for optimism as far as Bo Nix, and having a bounce back game, just knowing his mental makeup, knowing that he's mentally sharp, knowing what we do about him. And I loved the press conference speech that he gave not that long ago. And I pray that Cortland Sutton gets matched up with Trent McDuffie in multiple scenarios. You know what's crazy? That was insane last year to watch Sutton just cook McDuffie all game long. And especially in that like 3rd and 1 or whatever, when we were like, I think in the fringe, not in the red zone quite, but in the fringe. That was a crazy, crazy touchdown that we had last year. And yeah, overall, now McDuffie, unfortunately, he is having a really good year. As much as we hate to admit it, he is having a really good year. And Cortland Sutton has had a down past few weeks, I guess, if you will. Like he's still Cortland Sutton, like he's still our go-to guy. Like games on the line, you're throwing to Cortland Sutton, no doubt about that. But for those of you who just joined, I do have a new camera, so let me know what you guys think about the new camera in the comment section down below. Yeah, and overall, I'm just feeling this matchup. I don't think we're gonna win, but I feel optimistic, which is a weird feeling. It's truly a weird feeling to feel. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Um, but Bo Nix, is he going to play better? Like, I want to believe that he will, but until I see it, I can't say that he's, just going to go out there and be fire or whatever. I don't. Elite new camera. Thank you, Andy. It was $900, so it better be elite. Um, either way, Bo Nix. I want to go out there, or I want to believe that he will be like one of the best guys out there. And I do believe that he will be a guy that will turn us right the ship, if you will. Because ultimately we are an 8-2 team, and we're not 8-2 without him. We're not 8-2 without him storming back against the Eagles. We're not 8-2 without him storming back against the Giants. We're not even 8-2 with him, finding a way to win against the Houston Texans. But ultimately, I'm. It's just been ugly this year, and it really came to light in the Thursday night football game. Like, that Thursday night football game was bad, just all around bad, and there's no reason that it should have been as ugly as it was. But yeah, overall, that's how I'm feeling. Like, Bo Nix is. I think had you told me we were 8-2 going into Kansas City, I would have said that he is probably a lot further along in his development than we had predicted at this point. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. What else we got here? So, yeah, overall, if you're going to the game tomorrow, make sure that you are loud. Okay, Sean Payton, he said it. He said that he wants our fan base to be, on their feet. He wants our fan base to be, going crazy while the Chiefs are in the huddle. So if you're going to be there tomorrow, make sure that you are loud, 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 because this is one of the biggest games that we've played in a long time. So, you just got to make sure that if you're going to the game, you did not go there to not be quiet. You did not go there to not stomp your feet while the Broncos or while the Chiefs are on third down. You did not go in there to not stomp your feet while the Chiefs are in the huddle or whatever. So if you're going to the game, my only request for you is you just got to make sure that you are screaming every time Casey has the football. You got to make sure that you are, how do I put this? You just got to make sure it's tough for Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid to hear. And honestly, it's going to help our pass rush too. It's going to help our pass rush. So I'm happy to see a handful of you in here on this fantastic Saturday night, November 15th, 9:25 p.m. Yeah, just listen to me yap away. But a lot of people need clarity about the RB situation. So it was confirmed that J.K. Dobbins is likely out for the season. That was the term that Adam Schefter used, likely out for the season. So not confirmed out for the season, but unless we go on like a really, really deep playoff run, it'd be really hard for me to envision J.K. Dobbins being back with this team. But you never know. You never know. And, I don't want to project, but Liz Frank injuries, I did look it up today. Surgically, if they require surgery, it's a 4 to 6 month recovery, best case scenario. So, and I know that these guys are professional athletes. I know that these guys get paid to rehab. I know that these guys just get paid to train all game long. And quite honestly, if you were an NFL running back and you have such a short career, you would be a fool to not take your rehab as seriously as possible. But oh well. Such is life. Now, if only they'll call a hip drop tackle when it actually happens. Honestly, I think if you told me we were 8-2 going into KC, I probably think Nix is a top 10 quarterback, but alas, our defense carries. Yeah, I agree. And I probably would have thought that we'd be winning games a lot more stress-free this year than we actually have. Obviously the Bengals, there was nothing to stress about pretty much the entire game. The Cowboys, there was literally nothing to stress about pretty much the entire game. But every other game we've won, we've made noise, whether it's been good or bad. So, yeah. And once again, the Eagles win was actually a really, really good win. The Giants one was fantastic. Like, I know getting down 26-8 is never good in the first place, but yeah, either way. Yeah, I probably would have thought Nix would be a top 10 quarterback too, but you know what? Vance Joseph is him. Vance Joseph is him, and our defense has carried the load and has done an amazing job carrying the load that we've needed them to. So, once again, I got to give a huge major shout out to, what's his name? Vance Joseph, and I hope he gets head coach looks. Not for us, but for him. Denver knows how to win, and I think that's why we take the W tomorrow. Honestly, yeah, it reminds me of the Chiefs last year. Like, the Chiefs last year, like a couple of their wins were just very silly, and a couple of their wins were very blatantly handed to them by the officials. But yeah, the nice thing about us is that we've won, but we haven't had like ref ball on our side. We've actually had ref ball work quite against us quite a bit in the Giants game. Like, that was not a fairly officiated game. The Giants were getting a very friendly whistle, and yeah, overall, I don't know. Hopefully the penalty problem is cleaned up, but you know, who's the referee again? Aiden Hill. I hate how he calls penalties. He's like, false start, offense, number 82. And I'm just like, dude, like, I hate the way he calls penalties. It pisses me off every time I watch a game with him as the ref. But yeah. Vance just gonna get a head coaching job, and I'll be very sad. Yeah, I'll be sad too. But at least we have Jim Leonard in the pipeline to potentially take over as our defensive coordinator. And there are a lot of people around the NFL circles that have said that they think Jim Leonard is a future head coach. So it wouldn't surprise me if Jim Leonard were to just be a great coordinator here as well. And yeah, overall, Vance Joseph to the Giants with Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator would be nice. I mean, yeah. But the thing is, like, I don't know. If you're hiring Vance Joseph, how much of his hand is he actually going to have in the defense? Like, maybe he wants to be like a Tomlin level guy where he's just a CEO and everybody reports to him and he just lets his coordinators do his job. Maybe he runs it like a college program, but I think you'd be a fool if you're the Giants or something like that to not use his talents on the defensive side of the ball and not have him call the defensive plays or whatever. But yeah, that's the way I'm feeling about that. That would be a nice pairing. That would be a nice pairing, especially because, the Giants job is very attractive. It is very attractive. Obviously, you have neighbors already. You have Dart, who is your quarterback of the future. You have top pick, and you also have a lot of cap space to work with, along with a lot of good talent on the defensive side of the ball. So, yeah, that would be a really nice spot for Vance Joseph. I would love for him to go to the Giants. I think they have, like, actual infrastructure to make a nice, quick turnaround. But, yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe Glenn gets fired, so I wouldn't want VJ to go to the Jets because I feel like he would just flail out there. But trying to think. I mean, he could go back to Arizona. Depending on how bad Arizona finishes the year, I could see them moving on from Gannon. Yeah. Trying to think about other teams that might have head coach openings because honestly, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot that I can pin to that right now, which is crazy. But like, who do you think is firing their coach? Like, obviously, the Giants already did it. The thing is, like, Marvin Lewis got like 18 years in Cincinnati, and Zach Taylor, and he never ever took them even close to a Super Bowl. And Zach Taylor took them to a Super Bowl. Granted, you can argue about whether or not he actually did have a hand in that team going to the Super Bowl or not. But yeah, that's the way I'm feeling about that. Is that I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I feel like Mike Brown is too cheap. Mike Brown is too cheap. They're never going to fire that GM either. What's his name? Duke Tobin, I think. So nothing is ever going to change in Cincinnati, especially because they all made a Super Bowl. And while that's not an excuse, that's not a rationale or a validation for the job that they all have done. It's an indictment on it's a validation to Joe Burrow and Lou Anarumo. But yeah, no, there's only a couple teams I think I could actually see firing their coach. Cincinnati is one of them, like in the maybe tier. Like, would I be absolutely floored if it happened? No, but do I expect it? No, absolutely not. Who else? Stefanski? Yeah, he's probably gone. And like, I think he's a mediocre to good head coach, but unfortunately, the Browns have just kept Browning. Vance Joseph to the Bengals makes no sense. They won't pay him any more than he makes here in Denver, and the defense needs a full overhaul. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because yes, Mike Brown is notoriously cheap, and when your owner is worth like $18 trillion, yeah, pay your coordinators whatever you want. But I don't know. Just because they can do that doesn't mean they do. Although, I think if you're Cincinnati, I think I would look at a guy like Vance Joseph because with a guy like Joe Burrow, you need somebody that just basically is not stupid to be your offensive coordinator. You need somebody with a heartbeat and a pulse to be your offensive coordinator. Granted, you should still try for a good one, but with Joe Burrow, with Jamar Chase, you're always going to be competitive. Those guys will always make their magic happen. Heck, even this year without Joe Burrow, they've still been putting up a lot of points, and their defense is what lets them down consistently. So I think if you're the Bengals, I think VJ would make a lot of sense to get to rebuild their identity because it's a guy how should I put this? Vance Joseph, he's clearly a guy that players love playing for. Like Zach Allen literally came from Arizona to follow Vance Joseph. Justin Simmons, he always said that he loved playing for Vance Joseph. And granted, when we were struggling, I think a lot of people were chalking that up to, well, yeah, Vance Joseph holds nobody accountable for anything. But yeah, Mike McDaniel to the Bengals, that doesn't make sense though. Like for a team that doesn't win big games, or a team that can't get it done in the crucial moments, or a coach who can't get it done in the crucial moments, that makes even less sense in my opinion. Because the thing that's hurting Miami right now is or Cincinnati right now is their defense, not their offense. And I don't know. I just don't think McDaniel, he likes a bunch of speed. And while the Bengals, they have plenty of offensive weaponry, I feel like his pass game is not that dialed in. I feel like his game is not that dialed in unless you have an elite field stretcher, which, hey, Jamar Chase, he's active a weapon. But VJ to the Giants, yeah, we already did talk about that. But I think that would be a nice hire. I genuinely think that would be a really good hire for the New York Giants. And John Mara, he would be a fool to not like Vance Joseph during the times when the head coaching interviews come around. But then it begs the question of who's the defensive coordinator in Denver. And I think 90% of you already know the answer to that. And it's something that beat reporters have talked about extensively and talked about potentially last year when Vance Joseph was getting a couple of head coaching interviews. I think he did an interview with the Jets, but someone double check me on that. But the nice thing about Vance Joseph is we have a theoretical replacement. Now, no guarantee that our defensive coordinator once Vance Joseph moves on would be as good as Vance Joseph. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I don't know. We've just had so many coaches poached over the past 2 years. So it's clearly a staff that the NFL thinks highly of and wants to poach guys from. I don't know why nobody's poaching guys from like Kansas City or like any of those teams like Philly. Well, I guess Philly gets poached a lot. Philly's already been poached for 3 head coaches in the past 3 years, but you know what I'm saying. Like KC, I don't know why nobody goes after KC. Like I guess when Matt Nagy's the offensive coordinator, but Steve Spagnuolo, like why would you not at least give him a shot if you really, really need to revamp your defense or something like that? Should we look to Jamal Williams to come in for Dobbins' absence? I mean, if you're signing Jamal Williams at this point, you're just basically expecting him to be what Javonte Williams was for you last year, which is a very slow, like almost incapable of running the football at times kind of guy. You're getting a guy who's really smart and really good at pass protection, and you're getting a guy who will not drop the football if you throw it to him and it hits him in the hands. So should we look into Jamal Williams? I don't think so. Like, I just don't think he offers anything spectacular, to be completely honest. And I would rather give Harvey the time to grow into, whatever, with the pass protection, even if the coaching staff clearly doesn't trust him with that yet. He's only had 4 pass blocking reps all year long, by the way. Also, I don't have any sponsors yet, but I do want to plug my favorite brand of chapstick, Burt's Bees. I'm always slathering this on. Yeah, but Jamal Williams, he's not a guy that I'd be particularly excited if we signed, but I would get it. DJ Dallas, he's a guy that's been floated out there. Damian Martinez, all those guys have been floated out there so far. And I don't know. It would be interesting. It would be really interesting if we were to hire to sign Jamal Williams to be like to add to the room, because quite honestly, I would rather just take what Jalil offers you, which is like nothing great. But yeah. Feels like the past 2 days I've just come on here and I've just been talking about how much I don't like Jalil McLaughlin, which is crazy to me because I think Jalil McLaughlin's one of my favorite players on the team, but the reality of the situation is he's just not that good of a football player. And he doesn't catch, he doesn't pass protect, he doesn't play special teams. So like he's very undersized. You can't give him like a full workload. So like what does he do other than show up to the facility really early in the morning? I feel like we're going to struggle in this game with so many players out. Yeah, that's why I don't think we win. Ultimately, I think, no Dobbins, no Surtain. It's just too tall of a task for our team to handle. And I guess the nice thing is that we do have a built-in excuse if we do end up losing this football game. But yeah, we are going to struggle in this game with a lot of players out. I can feel it. We do have Nate Atkins out, which, I mean, it's probably a bigger loss than any of us want to admit. Singleton is not going to be wearing the green dot, but honestly, I don't know. If you had told me that like a month earlier about the Singleton thing, and I figured we'd be missing him for the Chiefs game, I'd be like addition by subtraction. But now I'm not too sure because we don't know who the green dot's going to be, and Singleton is one of the like key guys with communication or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Right on cue. Wonder if they figured out who's running the green dot. My guess is Hufanga, because usually it goes to a guy with 100% snap share. And honestly, Greenlaw, they haven't given him a 100% snap share yet. I think that's silly. I think they should. I think they kind of, were conditioning him with the idea of being fully available for this game. So I would like it to go to Greenlaw. I think that'd be a good sign, but I think it's going to Hufanga. I think it's going to Hufanga. I think you're giving the Chiefs too much credit. They only looked good against the Lions, who were injured and no flags were called. But dude, it's the Chiefs. Like, I'm sorry, this is a team that they are never out of it ever until they're out of it. And, they're never out of it until it's the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl and the other team's up 40-6. Like, that's just how I feel. We should have gone into her. They're never out of it in the sense that last year we had a 35-yard field goal. We had a chance to do something, and then we had a catastrophic special teams meltdown. They're never out of it in the sense that, it's 21-20. We have a chance to go up 28-20, and then Melvin Gordon fumbles the ball, and the Chiefs run it all the way back for 6. So that's why I give the Chiefs credit, especially because Patrick Mahomes is coming off a game where he completed 44% of his passes, and we've got Andy Reid off a bye. And I can imagine that it's a different feeling in that building this year. I don't imagine they're panicking, but I can imagine being 5-4 is a lot different for them this time around than what they're used to, which usually at this point, they're just like 1 loss, 2 losses, sometimes no losses, and just running away with the division. So yeah. But either way, yeah, you're right. Like, they did only look good against the Lions, who were very injured and no flags were called. And they did lose against the Chargers. They did lose against Philly. They did lose against Jacksonville. They did lose against, trying to think, who was their fourth loss to? Oh, Buffalo. So yeah, it has been tough for them. But once again, like, I don't know, they're just never out of it. And they do have Josh Simmons back, which is huge, huge, huge for them. But I mean, man, I'm not really giving the Chiefs credit. I think as much as I'm just kind of downplaying our success. And the reason I'm downplaying our success is because, yes, we are winning these games, but we're not doing it in a sustainable way. Okay. We have a lower offensive DVOA than the 2020 Pittsburgh Steelers, who obviously frauded their way to 11-0. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. I don't think it's more of a Chiefs thing. I think it's more of an us thing. Like, we're still an unproven offense. We're still missing Dobbins. We're still missing Surtain. So, yeah, that's how I feel. I hope the crowd noise gets to Chiefs and Mahomes. Yeah, like Sean Payton had said it in his press conference. So if you guys are going to the game, if any of you are going to the game, make sure that you're loud. Make sure you are screaming when Kansas City enters the huddle, because that's what he said. He says that, even being loud when they're entering the huddle is like, or when they're in the huddle, you'd be surprised at what guys can hear and what they can't. Yo, what's up, guys? Hey, Son of Judah, great to see you again. Thank you for tuning into my live streams the past 4 nights. But yeah, it's pretty badass when the camera's like this on the broadcast, like when they have the field camera going like this. And then but I can imagine Mile High is going to be rocking tomorrow. Like, believe that I can promise you that every time the Chiefs touch the football, it's going to be really, really loud. So, yeah, who's the refs? It's Aiden Hill or whatever his name is. Once again, his penalty calls piss me off so much. Like, not the actual calls that he makes, but he's like, false start, offense, number 82. Like, I don't know. He feels like he's being condescending when he calls penalties to me. But yeah. So keep on a lookout for that, because I think home teams this year have not done very well with him, and yet the Chiefs are 4-0 with that ref. So that is unfortunate, but hey, we've been trend breakers. This entire season. The Eagles were the hottest team in the league at home, winning at home, and then we go in there and we get a nice little dub. Chiefs are 4-0 with that ref. Yeah, that sucks. We might be cooked. But yeah, no, I can't stand him either. His penalty calls piss me off so much. I hope we win going into the bye week. That would be enormous. Like, oh my God. I can't even begin to explain how enormous it would be to beat Kansas City and be feeling good, not only heading into the bye week, but heading into Washington. And Daniels isn't I don't think he's completely out of the question for playing in that game. So we're going to need to be on our A game for that. That game, honestly, might get flexed out. If I'm being completely honest, because the Commanders are just in free fall mode. And if we have another bad showing tomorrow, then I can see the national stations being like, yeah, we do not want Commanders, Broncos. Hope Crawshaw does better on his punch. Me too, man. Me too. I hope Crawshaw does better in the sense that Sean Payton had talked about it, and he said sometimes it's the drop. Sometimes it's the drop on the punt, and he said that the ground wind was a lot higher than like the actual wind. I didn't think it was crazy because during that Thursday Night Football game, I remember looking outside and I didn't see any wind at all, which was crazy because I live like 15 minutes southwest of the stadium, or probably like 15 or 20, but that was crazy to me. That was pretty crazy that the punts were that bad and they were going off his knee, his shin, his calf, his toes, whatever. But yeah, overall, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, if Crawshaw is not better on his punts, like the special teams just made noise in every game this year, whether it's been good or bad. So I just hope they're just in the background doing their thing. I hope it's like last year where they're just in the background doing their thing. And honestly, it was like that last year against KC until the final 3 minutes of the game, and the rest is history, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm still mad at Alex Forsyth. Bo Nix needs to use his legs if there's a lane open. Yeah, I agree. And I think, Jeremy challenged me on this point earlier today when we had the J.K. Dobbins show. I was like, well, why is Bo Nix not using his legs more? He was like, well, look what happened to Jaden Daniels. I'm like, dude, Bo Nix is pretty good at protecting himself, and we have a good offensive line, so the hits he takes are pretty minimal. But yeah, so listen, Bo Nix's legs are a weapon. It's like Lamar Jackson, man. If you're Lamar Jackson, it doesn't matter, because at a certain point, like injury risk or whatever, because at a certain point, that's just your play style. He looked flustered last game or afraid of running. He's looked flustered to me pretty much all year long. I think pressure just gets to him really easily. I think, sometimes we're late picking up blitzers. Sometimes we're late picking up, stunts or whatever. And he just panics. And he just bails. And, there was a really nice clip of Drake May on Thursday night where, the pocket just was non-existent. It was collapsing. And he still managed to step up. And he did an amazing job at stepping up at the pocket. But, yeah. What am I saying? But yeah. So, Denver Broncos tonight, November 15th, 2025. Thank you all for being here. 9:45 p.m. Saturday, November 15th, the night before the Denver Broncos, who are 8-2, take on the 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, I'm really enjoying these late night live streams. I hope you guys are too. I hope it just lets you chill out or whatever, and we could just talk some ball, and you get your own personal little bat phone into my thoughts about the Broncos. So yay. See some RPOs, yeah. I want to see more option too. I want to see more pistol option because honestly, that's something we did a really good job of last year. Could you imagine what this team would look like if we had last year's offense with this year's defense? And I can't believe I'm saying that because of how bad our run game was last year, but we just need to be serviceable on the offensive side of the ball. And we have been for the majority of the year, but you guys know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. But yeah, I would like us to go pretty RPO heavy. Quite simply because, they're really hard plays to mess up. And honestly, there's just not a whole lot that we can hang our what's it called? Hats on. Yeah. Yeah, Bo is one of the least sacked because of his spidey senses, but sometimes I wished he had tunnel vision and trusted the line a little bit more. Yeah, I agree. When Daniel Jones was a rookie, I remember watching a Brett Coleman video, and the Daniel Jones' sense of pressure was pretty incredible. Not because he would fight his way out of sacks or whatever, but it was quite the opposite. Sometimes he would do insane things. The reason that he would make plays even with defenders bearing down on him is because he had no sense of pressure whatsoever. So it'd either be a good thing or a bad thing because, he'd end up taking some ugly shots. Ugly shots. And yeah. not to say that I wish Bo Nix was more like that, but it is frustrating when there's like clean pockets. It is frustrating when he doesn't trust himself to make a play against a free rusher because honestly, he has the athleticism to do it. Like I remember what we saw all last year that Bo Nix was a very, very good quarterback at just evading the pocket. He was a very good quarterback at, being in space. He was a very good quarterback at, using his legs. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of that has gone out the window this year. And I don't know if that's a Sean Payton or a Bo Nix decision, but we need to run him more. Like, I'm not saying we need more QB designed runs. We don't need to do like 5 or 6 a game or whatever, but I would like to at least see one. I would like to at least see one, if you know what I'm saying. And yeah, that's my rant about Bo Nix. Like Sean Payton, he can jerk himself off to the negative play rate all he wants, but when you're just not seeing the field sometimes, it's frustrating. It really is. And I think most of our struggles on the offensive side of the ball can be traced back to number 10 this year. Like Sean Payton, he does need to do some things to help out our quarterback. He does need to do some things to, recognize that, hey, Bo Nix is really struggling this year. How can we simplify things? Because honestly, he has not done a very good job of that this year, Sean Payton. There's a lot to blame Sean Payton on, in my opinion, like the penalty problem, just late subs, like all that, especially because it's week 11 now. Yeah. And overall, it's crazy that things like that are still happening, which by the way, guys, can you believe it's already week 11? Like when I hear that, I'm panicking. I panic a lot when I hear the fact that we're so close to the NFL season or that we're so close to the, postseason. Like I literally am panicking that we have only a few more regular season games left, or I shouldn't say a few more, but we have 6 after tomorrow left. And that makes me hyperventilate because I'm just like, what do I do without football? Because when football's going on, life moves 2 times as faster, in my opinion. I think September to January, I think those months move 2 times the speed as February through August, in my opinion. That's just how I'm feeling about that. But let me know what you guys think. Sorry to make you guys panic or whatever, but it's tough. It's a tough scene. But yeah, put Bo in space. Yeah, like just do a good job. Like that Giants run, that was an absolute masterclass. But yeah. Which by the way, oh yeah, I had a call for my septum surgery today. And yeah, for those of you who don't know or don't remember, I am going to get my septum fixed after the Commanders game. Sup, Roan? What's good? Yeah, even these last 10 days, I feel like they went by like that. And 10 days in July and 10 days after your team plays in November, they are just not the same thing. And you guys cannot convince me otherwise. So, yeah. Either way, what do you guys think of my new camera? And what do you guys think about my jerseys in the background? Like, do you guys like my new setup? Like, I did tweak some things. Like, I turned the Sanders around back there. But let me know what you guys think. And, yeah, this season truly has been flying by. And, I used to delude myself and say, hockey is my favorite sport. I said that until I was in like 6th grade. And then when I was in 7th grade, I came to terms with it. I was like, there's just no replacement for football. You got Thursday night football. You catch prime time pretty much every night. And then that's 3 hours just gone from your night. Or I shouldn't say gone, but it takes up 3 hours of your night. And then what else do you have? You have fantasy, which takes up a lot of time for people to begin with as well. So, yeah, overall, football season's elite. It is really good. Yes, it is. I think it's in 60 FPS. I think so, but let me know what you guys think. Actually, in webcam mode, I don't think this is 60 FPS, but if I want to shoot an actual video, it will come out in 60 frames per second. But yes, I am not using the default MacBook webcam anymore, which is why I think everything looks a lot more high quality and I'm more focused on my face or whatever. On my StreamYard platform, on my streaming platform, it looks so good. But yeah, I don't think it looks as good on YouTube. I'm watching it on my TV to my left, but yeah. Let me actually, all right, max 720p. Okay. So do you think I have a throwback Marvin Mims jersey? That's awesome. I just ordered Hufanga and Palczewski, a blue Hufanga and a white Marvin Mims jersey. But yeah, I hope that I want to get a Marvin Mims jersey. I think I might get like a regular home orange Marvin Mims jersey. Yo, what's good, Richie? Glad I was finally able to catch you on one of these late night Broncos talk sessions. Do you think the screen passes work or not? Like, yes, but no. Like, I think a lot of people are criticizing the screen game and they think it's bad play calling, but it's not intrinsically a bad play call just because it's a screen. Last week we literally saw Troy Franklin run himself into a defender that Trent Sherfield had wrapped up. Um, I will say, I think it's going to get better with Humphrey coming back because Trent Sherfield has been awful this year. Awful. Um, if you had 5 minutes with Sean, what would you say? Man, I don't know. I think if I had 5 minutes with Sean, I don't think I'd try to be like reporter style. Like if I just had 5 minutes to like just sit down with him or whatever, I don't think I would go reporter style because I don't want to like push his buttons. Like, Luca Evans, you see that Sean Payton fucking hates that guy. And overall, I think if I had 5 minutes with Sean Payton, I would try to, I don't know, man. I think I would ask him about like what's actually going on because if we're just like friends and catching up and he knows I'm not going to go public with it, I think he would trust me more. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the camera looks better. Yes, appreciate you, son of Judah. It was $900, so it better look better. Doesn't matter. Sean Payton will never listen to us regarding anything the offense. That's true, but still, he's forgotten more football than I will ever remember. And he definitely has earned the right to be this way as the Broncos head coach. Only if the run game is working. I mean, even if the run game isn't working, we still had a nice screen game last year. So I don't know. So there's a horse on your head. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And I need a haircut. Like, honestly, it's because my hair is so long right now. And pretty soon I'm going to go without the horse head because you know, I don't know. I love the horse head. I love like the goofy style it gives off, but people need to take me more seriously. Um, it's remarkable. I'm Eastern time. Um, yeah. I'm happy I was able to finally catch you. It is 11:54 for you, so I'm happy I get to catch you before you go to bed. Shoot, I push Sean Payton. I'd be like, "What's up with the play calling?" I wouldn't necessarily go that far. Like, once again, I think the play calling is fine. I think it's the execution. I think there's things to criticize Sean Payton for. If it were me, I'd be like, "What's going on with the penalties?" I'd be like, "What's going on with the late subs?" Who do you not plan on bringing back next year already? But yeah, that's how I would do. Sean ain't telling anyone anything. I wouldn't go that far because we know who he likes in the media. He likes Colin Cowherd. He likes Joe Klatt. He likes Chase Daniel, and he likes Kay Adams. Those four. So he won't not tell anyone anything. And we've got 18 of you in here. So woo-wee. Happy to see y'all in late night Broncos talk. $900. Ouch. Mash that like button. Yeah. Mash that like button. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What's your score prediction? I think this team. Good question. I think our defense probably can't hold it together without Patrick Surtain against Patrick Mahomes. Like obviously our defense will get up for the game, but yeah, it'll be really unfortunate. I think it's 27-24. I still think it's a one-score game, but yeah. How do I title? Also, I'm going on TikTok. I'm going on TikTok right now. How do I edit my whatever on TikTok? Yeah, either way, we've got late night Broncos talk with y'all. Happy y'all are joining me on this great Friday edition and Saturday, I should say. Everybody likes Kay Adams. I like Kay Adams too, but I don't like simp for her like the rest of the football world does. Actually, run game worked, but we made a massive error. We needed a bigger running back, someone who could have stepped in anytime. I will not agree with you that the run game was working last year especially because we did have a bigger running back. Now with Javonte Williams, I mean, are you talking about this year or last year? But yeah, either way, we got late night Broncos talk. Appreciate y'all. For those of you who just tuned in on TikTok, I am also on TikTok right now. So yeah, it's Sunday morning. So where I'm at, that's awesome. That is awesome right there. Hold on. Yeah. Wait. Okay, but either way, late night Broncos talk. So, are you in Are you in Canada, like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia time zone, where you're 3 hours out of Colorado? Hope Harvey goes off with 2 touchdowns, 109 rushing. Dude, that would be something. That'd be something. And I've got somebody on TikTok saying, "Love your videos, man. Perfect. Thank you all. I appreciate you all." Um, we do need a bigger running back, and honestly, it sucks because Jeremiah Love, it would be so good in the draft. Yeah, but Sean Payton does like looking at K. Adams, and man, I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one, but I think I agree with your sentiment right here, Richie. Um, Kuwait. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that you guys had football in Kuwait. That's sick. That is sick. But either way, I just got a bunch of likes from my TikTok live, which is cool. I can't wait to see how all these people can just come in and say, uh, how do I edit the description? Like, hold on. To be clear, we need a 6 foot, 230 pounds. Like, those guys are so rare nowadays, though. Like, those guys are fullbacks in the modern era. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Live. There we go. Late night Broncos talk. All right. Just had to get this set up for TikTok. Had to get this set up for TikTok. Yeah. It's on eBay. Like, if you literally just go on eBay and you search like Denver Broncos foam head or whatever, then yeah, you can you'll be able to like search it up, and yeah. Okay, I hope my phone doesn't fall because I just set it up right there. I'm about 3 hours north of Toronto. That's pretty sick. So we've got a Canadian Broncos fan in there. That's pretty sick. Shout out to Colorado State football for falling to 2-8. Way to represent. Also, do you guys know what college team I cheer for? We just went on the road and beat the number 25 ranked team in the country. Winning a college game is never easy. Winning a college football conference game is never easy, especially when it's on the road. So yeah, really happy about that. So you're in Canada. Wow. You are in Canada. Go Avs. Go Avs. It's Hurricane Harvey time, literally. Wasn't Harvey the one that like obliterated Houston 8 years ago? And Harvey did not have much of an impact against Houston, but yeah. Either way. So I wish I could edit. I wish I could stream like from StreamYard to TikTok. That would be awesome. All right. Okay. All right. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Avs. You. Ah man, who's your favorite hockey team? The Avs are my second favorite sports team. Don't the Nuggets have the same record as us? I think they do. Want to shout out everybody who just joined the TikTok live. Orby Stout and Cesar Hernandez. What's up? Nuggets are 9-2, I think. Yeah, and I should probably turn that game on. Little do you guys know, I'm actually not a Nuggets fan. Like, they are my second favorite team, and I still cheer for them. But my favorite NBA team plays in Orlando. Dude, yeah. Arizona-Cincinnati game was great. Much like Arizona did the, what's it called? Much like Arizona had the, what am I trying to say? Much like the Broncos have had all these fourth quarter wins this year, the Arizona Wildcats have been equally as ridiculous. We've got 21 of you in here, so I just want to give a shout out to everybody for that. Nuggets game is already over. Oh, shoot. They beat Minnesota, right? They beat Minnesota. And if Vance Joseph leaves, does that mean Jim Leonard steps into that role as the head defensive coordinator? Presumably so. I would think so, unless because that's what I think what the plan in place was. Like, from what we heard in the building, the plan in place, if Vance Joseph was hired this past year, was to promote Jim Leonard to defensive coordinator. So I would imagine that he does, if that's the case. But yeah, I'm watching the best Christmas movie ever, Die Hard. Man, that's a good one. My favorite Christmas movie ever is Mean Girls or Ted. I love those. Um, Either way, yeah, I've got plenty of people in here from TikTok. If you guys don't know, TikTok is actually I'm bigger on TikTok than I am on YouTube, but um yeah, everybody say what's up. Just join the chat, I guess. November 15th, Saturday, 10:02 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We've got one more day, or one more sleep, I should say, until the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. American Christmas, Great American Christmas on Hallmark. That's sick. That's sick. I'm watching Man on TV, the UFC fight on my iPad and Kodiak on the phone. Let's go. Let's go. Love a guy who can multitask, but yeah. Oh my God, we just got a $10 super chat on YouTube from Rodney Garcia 752. Appreciate you. Love the fact that you guys are giving me your hard-earned cash, especially when you're all the way up in Kuwait. So well done. Ashton Smalls, my guy, my day one, finally showing some love on TikTok. Let's go. This is my first TikTok live stream, Ashton. So glad you were able to hop in. It's not going to be one that I think is going to be very popular around here, but I got 27, 24 bad guys tomorrow. But yeah, no, Rodney Garcia, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm amazed that the Kuwait, whatever money was able to translate to the US dollar system, but that's sick, man. I appreciate you so much, especially because, you spend your hard-earned cash and I'm just a random guy who streams on the internet. And thank you, because I got a $400 camera for my YouTube today, but I'm still streaming on TikTok on my phone. But yeah, it's just hard for me to envision that this team gets it done without Surtain and without J.K. Dobbins. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the game tomorrow. Those are my thoughts on the game tomorrow. The game starts at midnight over here. Man, I can't imagine waiting until midnight for a game to start. Like, that would drive me nuts, because I think game starting at 11 is too late. Like, it drives me nuts when you have to wait until like 11 a.m. or 2:25 or even prime time. Like, you're just sitting around and waiting. Do you think the media is correct about Bo Nix, or do you think he's getting too much hate? I think the media is. I don't think he's getting too much hate, because I think people realize that there's a lot to improve upon. And I do think Nix is primarily responsible for our offensive struggles this year. Like, a lot of people are dogging out Sean Payton, and Sean Payton is not without his flaws, but yeah, I think it's pretty fair and warranted. Everything that people have to say about Nix this year, that's what I think. That's what I am honestly thinking about Bo Nix. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Because I'm up hitting the gym by then. Oh, that's fire. That's fire. But in Kuwait. So are you like stationed there? I think I see your YouTube profile picture. Are you like stationed in Kuwait? That's crazy though. It's crazy that people are watching me from that far away. Let's lose, Chiefs. What do you? I'm confused. Are you just a Chiefs fan that's here to like brigade, or are you here to say, "Oh, let's go Broncos, let's lose"? But yeah, I've got about 40 of you in here combined from YouTube and TikTok, so that's pretty neat. Hope Benito gets 3 sacks. Man, yeah, that's honestly the way you're going to have to win this game, is you're going to have to sack Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's cliche. I know that that's not really in-depth whatever. I know it's not really in-depth how do I put this? It's not really in-depth analysis, but yeah, you're going to have to pressure Mahomes. You're going to have to get after him. You're going to have to rush for and still find a way to make it work. But yeah. Yeah, so my thoughts are of Mahomes in the blue tent. I don't agree. I think if we want to beat the Chiefs, we should want them at their best to see what this team's truly made of. We do not want anybody to go into the blue tent. I got to be honest, I don't really care how Knicks plays as long as we win. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I was really concerned after the Thursday Night Football game. Like, every other game we had built-in excuses for why the offense ultimately did not perform in the way that we were hoping them to, or should have ultimately. But I get what you're saying. Like, I get what you're saying in that sense on, if Bo Nix is truly playing bad, on if you want him to get credited or whatever, but I'm saying that there's nothing that you can credit him for on the Thursday Night Football game other than like that one throw to Bryant. Bo Nix could have looked great in the media, would still find a way to discredit Bo. Yeah, it was annoying last year, But I think those haters have a much more valid take this year. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like the fact that, last year people were slobbing all over Kansas City without realizing that they were winning games due to ref ball. And while we haven't won games in pretty fashion, much like Kansas City did last year, like still we've found a way to make our own luck and we have made our own games or matter or whatever. Casa Bonito, yeah. Lion have not gotten that many takeaways for real, like interceptions. Honestly, I think it's because we're sacking the quarterback too much. Like there was a study done by the NFL, and they said that a turnover or a sack counts as like a third of a turnover. So, and also, I think if Hufanga spends like an hour with the jugs machine, I think then we'll be able to get more takeaways this upcoming year. This one's for Alex. Are you talking about me? Because that's my name. I'm Alex. No, I'm kidding. I know what you mean. Yeah, we got to go out and play hard for Singleton. That'd be fantastic. Do you see Bo improving? Yeah, just simply because of the fact that Sean Payton is one of the GOATs at in-season adjustments. And honestly, I haven't seen a reason to doubt him. So I think Bo Nix will improve. I think the Raiders game is as bad as it's going to get this past season. Is JFM good to play? Yes, he is. He came out on Friday and he said, hey, man, just like tweaked my back a little bit in practice on either Wednesday or Thursday. But on Friday, he said he was good to go. On Friday, he at least said he was good to go. So, yeah. I hope Bo has 4 TDs, 332 yards. Dude, me too. I would love for our quarterback to drop a 330-yard stat line against the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow. Like, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Oh, wow. I got 21 viewers on TikTok. That's pretty cool. That is pretty neat. But, yeah, can we put Dondre Tillman in at running back? That would be sick. That would be really, really sick. But I don't know, man. That would be fire, though. All right. Let me see. I'm going to wait. I'm gonna try to restream on TikTok. Bro, it said your 3 viewers are still marveling at your energy. Hold on. I'm gonna click the go live button. Or let's see if I can TikTok Studio. Download for Mac. But yeah. I feel bad for Jonah. Wait, hold on. Bo seems to mess up. He's playing timid, and Sean Payton's play calling. It's as if he's not sure what we want to be, a runner pass team. We do have the weapons. Once again, I don't think the play calling's been poor in itself. I think the execution's been dog shit. And yeah, you can say that Payton needs to do a better job putting his guys in situations. That being said, like, yeah, Bo Nix does seem to be afraid to mess up this year. He is playing very timid, and Sean Payton's play calling has been, I'm not going to say it's been great, but like, yeah, I think there's more to blame Sean Payton on than just play calling. But yeah, he does seem afraid to mess up this year. And even then, like, he's thrown a handful of interceptions. So, like, that's the annoying part about it. I feel like Bo feels more comfortable under center than in shotgun, which that doesn't make sense to me because he was so good in college. And, like, college quarterbacks, like, they live under shotgun. So, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Either way, it's not working. And honestly, maybe. But the other thing about going under center is that maybe you don't have the infrastructure to just do it right now. Like, that's another thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that we're just not playing well. Oh, wait. Use your phone camera to log in. All right, I'm trying to set up so I can stream this to my TikTok. I appreciate you all being patient with me if you are talking with me on YouTube. Dude, yeah. Keys to victory, don't drop the ball. Yes, agreed. Less than 6 penalties. Yep. I can guarantee, honestly, if 2 or 3 of these things happen, I think we win this football game. I genuinely do. I feel bad for Jonah Ellis. He can't stay healthy. Dude, me too. Like, we had the shoulder thing against Buffalo in the wild card game, which that sucked. But yeah, and he's just missed a handful of games. And, that's a big loss because, honestly, I feel like you don't miss that much when Benito and what's his name, Cooper, are off the field if Jonah Ellis is the third guy off the bench. So, or is the first guy off the bench. But yeah, good opportunity tomorrow for Q Robinson and what's his name? Good opportunity for Q Robinson and Dondre Tillman to make some plays tomorrow. We need to avoid the pre-snap penalties, dude. The pre-snap penalties are driving me nuts. Like they're maddening. They are maddening. Like, I know it's not an easy offensive scheme, but still. Like, it's just a joke. It really is a joke. Court needs more targets than Troy, 100%. Like, Troy just has not been that good this year in his role. I fear, yeah, you're probably right. Like, especially with how many penalties we commit. And, like, listen, I'm not here to say that we're all, like, I'm not here to say that we've been a perfect team. Like, most of the penalties are legit. Most of the penalties are on us. So, like, I get it. I get it. But yeah. Here we go. I'm adding a camera source. Adding video sources. What am I doing? Oh, it's making me, TikTok's making me go through like a tutorial. When does Ben Powers and Drew Sanders return? Drew Sanders, dude, I don't know. I'm surprised that guy. I'm amazed. Like, I thought about that not too long ago, and I was like, well, dang, that's good. But yeah, Ben Powers will be back in December. That's what we've heard. Like, that was a what's it called, a hard timetable we got. Like, that was a very specific timetable we got, which makes me think that he's like doing great or whatever. But yeah. Okay, I got my camera working on TikTok and what's it called now? That's sick. When do you think PS2 gets back? I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't see him for Washington. I'd be pretty surprised. The penalties have been horrendous this season, dude. Yeah, it's been unacceptable. Breaking the huddle with 10 or less seconds left doesn't help. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think it's just been absolutely ridiculous that, we're at the point where, what's it called? He's been really, really by December. Okay. But sorry. I'm getting distracted right here because I'm setting this up for TikTok, but yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Why is it taking me so long? Okay. I am going to go live. I am going to go. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Set. All right, now I'm live streaming in 2 places. Yeah, I hope Cooper goes live too. That'd be sick. My look at it's not worth defending. Exactly. Like, if you're a sports fan, this is my idea too. Like, control the things you can control, because ultimately there's not a whole lot you can control. But either way, I think it's just it's been rough. Like, there's no sugarcoating the fact that it has been a rough experience. So that does suck. But yeah. When do you think PS2? Oh yeah. Our O-line has been one of the best in the league. Like, if you look at our pass blocking efficiency, like, our O-line has been the best in the league this year. I forget where I found that. I'll look for it a little later and I'll try to show you. Broncos are frauds. Play a real team. All right. Happy to see you leaving some engagement in my comment section. All right. Thank you. Penalties beat us, not the other teams. Agreed. Like, we lost against Indy because of the penalties, and it was bad. It was bad, and we did it to ourselves. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. So, yep. Jade is going to lock up Kelsey. I know it. Dude. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Jahdae Barron doing that? Could you imagine Jahdae Barron just putting the clamps on Kelsey? Like that would be, I'd be nutting if that were the case. Uh, oh my God, I can't believe that would be so sick. That'd be so sick. Either way, yo, we got another super chat from this one comes from Paul Davis. This one, yo, what's up? Just Tids too. Go Broncos. Yes. Feel bad for J.K. Dobbins too. But either way, yes, Paul Davis, thank you for the super chat. Like, I love being able to talk Broncos with you guys. And quite honestly, I'm spoiled rotten that I get to do this. And you guys are watching as much as you do. So yeah, I think it's just so sick what I get to do. And the fact that I get to do it with you guys makes it even better. I'll be honest, these games are hard watches, but my joy will not be ruined. Win or lose, I refuse. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. Like, just the fact that I get to come on here and the fact that I get to play or just talk about football with you guys, I feel like I'm a winner in myself because I get to come home. I get to do an awesome chat after or have awesome chats with you all after work. I get to, just be able to do what I love for a living and, or not for a living. I don't do this for a living yet. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Barry needs to force those PBUs on Kelsey. He does. Like it would be amazing if like 5'11", or no, he's not 5'11". I think he's 6 foot flat, like 190 pound. Jahdae Barron were to like get some PBUs. And also, you guys think Riley Moss has short arms? Jahdae Barron has even shorter arms, which is crazy to me. Are you going to the game tomorrow? I am not. I wish I was. That'd be pretty sick if I were to go to the game tomorrow. But yeah, so yeah, like these games are hard watches, but I'm usually, I don't know why, but I don't think about it from a fan perspective. I think about it from like a media perspective, if that makes sense. Like it's crazy to think about, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel whenever like I'm watching these games. So yeah, I don't know. Yes, 15 does need a sack number 15. 15 absolutely needs to sack number 15. Like that would be fantastic. But yeah. Okay. Either way, yeah, now we've got a lot more people in my TikTok live right now. But yeah. Either way. Denver Broncos late night talk. You guys are popping off right now. I have no plans of stopping anytime soon. But yeah, I'm not going to the game tomorrow. I'll be sad if JK doesn't get re-signed. I assume he will. Also, I'm done like getting distracted and looking at comments. So yeah. Either way, or I'm done getting distracted and looking at TikTok comments as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna be sad if JK doesn't get re-signed. I agree. Like I think the value and feasible part of my brain with like the logistical side of things and being pragmatic and being like, man, he's a running back. I don't really know. Granted, we've been fantastic this year. Like he has been so good this year for us. So I get it. I get why everybody wants to re-sign Dobbins. And ultimately, I'll just leave that trust in the organization if they do. Respect my coaches on TikTok saying Tyler Algier next year. Honestly, not a bad bet. Do you like when the secondary plays man coverage or 6 to 8 yards soft zone coverage? I think they're going to need to play the soft zone coverage like more. The only reason that I think the man coverage works and your system can go the way it does and like you can blitz so much and send pressure is because you have Patrick Surtain and you don't have him tomorrow. So the 6 to 8 yards soft zone coverage like disguise some things. That's what we're going to need to beat the Chiefs tomorrow. I'm going to need number 15 to sack number 15. Yeah, that'd be sick. That would be sick. That would be really, really sick if we could get Benito to sack Patrick Mahomes. Like if we were to sack him, I don't know how many times. How many times do you think it would take for us to sack Patrick Mahomes for us to win the football game tomorrow, y'all? Yeah, they need to take pre-workout before the game. Dude, I feel like Bo Nix has done this before the games, and I feel like that's why things haven't really come together for us. Like, am I crazy? What the Bills? Yeah, you need to hit Mahomes. Like, that's why I was so intent on D-line this past offseason in the draft because you just need to get after Mahomes, and you need to, you saw in Tampa Bay Super Bowl, you saw in the Eagles Super Bowl, like if you can make him play up against some pressure, he does not want to play up against that. I'd also love if Sean Payton could scheme up some big targets for Ingram. I think this could be his big game. It could be his big game, but in the reality of the situation is we just have not seen anything from Ingram this year. Like he has not been very good. Now, I don't think he's like earned more targets, but if he's open, why not throw it to him? Because Bo Nix did not do that last game. I'd re-sign Dobbins. I think I would too. Assuming everything's right. Chris Abrams-Drain would be a number one corner on most teams. I get the line of thinking. I think he would start on a lot of teams, but Chris Abrams-Drain, like the reason I think a lot of people really like him is because they have not seen his limitations play out for the full season. Chris Abrams-Drain is 5'10", 181 pounds, and he's not like Chris Harris. Like Chris Harris could travel with anyone. Chris Abrams-Drain has not shown this ability yet. Worthy is playing tomorrow. Logan Clark, Worthy is playing tomorrow. I see a lot of mesh crosser routes for Kelsey. Yeah, probably. But the good thing is our defense is so good at communicating that I think if anybody's equipped to shut these down, then we are. Yeah, Coz, Derek Harmon was right there. JK clearly wants to be here and would take a discount. But to be honest, if RJ shows us he can be that guy for the rest of the season, then honestly, I don't know if it's worth re-signing JK. I'm with you 100%. Like if we can get something that shows that JK Dobbins is, worth being, worth re-signing, then that'd be fantastic. But that being said, if RJ does show us that he can be the bell cow, then I don't know. Yes, sir, he is. Has Savion Jones played recently? I don't think he has. I know he hasn't played on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe he's gotten some special teams run, but I think he's been inactive the past few weeks. Allen has the best matchup. Simmons, he's going to go off tomorrow. Well, first of all, Simmons is the left tackle, but I get what you're saying. I forget who the left guard is. I think it's Sua Mataya for Kansas City, or it might be Jalen Moore. Like they might, since Simmons is back for them, they might kick Jalen Moore to left guard. I don't know, but I get what you're saying. And I mean, in the inside, you got Creed Humphrey, you got Trey Smith, so you got your work cut out for you over there. I think our matchup advantage is Cooper against what's his name. Cooper against Juwan Taylor. Ingram needs to hit those catches. Yeah, I agree. Everybody needs to do a much better job of helping our quarterback out. That's just the reality of the situation. Chris Abrams-Drain reminds me of Bradley Roby. Yeah, the problem is Bradley Roby, when I will never slander a member of the Super Bowl 50 winning team, but when Bradley Roby got his chance to be the number one or number two after Talib had left in 2018, it was pretty rough. But like, yeah, like for a secondary this loaded, I think I get what you're saying. Like when he was with the no-fly zone, he was amazing. Like if you give him an elite pass rush and two great corners ahead of him, then yeah, he'd be fantastic. But yeah, yeah. Do you miss Kareem Jackson? Funny story about Kareem Jackson. He always used to come into the place that I worked at after Monday, during Monday, like, because that's the player like recovery day. And it didn't matter if they won or lost. This was particularly in 2022 when the Broncos defense was terrible. He would get lunch there at the bar and he would have, like, I'm not even kidding, 9 or 10 drinks, like at 2 p.m. on like a Monday. It was hysterical. And he'd always like be on the phone and just calling for like more drinks or whatever. But yeah. Do I miss him? Like he was a little too reckless. He was a little too reckless with how he played towards the end of the time. Like people are just like, well, take hitting out of the sport. I'm like, dude, a lot of those fouls he committed were blatant fouls. I will say I miss his energy. I miss his communication. But that being said, we replaced him with Hufanga, and I think we haven't really looked back. But I miss him as like a locker room presence. I believe in Bo. Does he believe in himself? We're going to find out tomorrow because a lot of people are thinking that he doesn't. He doesn't. Bo needs to just settle, calm in the pocket, and avoid throwing the ball off his back foot. His mechanics are still an issue, but can be fixed in the offseason. I get what you're saying. Let me look up something with Bo Nix. Huh. Yeah. Does Bo believe in himself? Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Bo just needs to settle calm in the pocket and avoid throwing the ball off his back foot. Yeah, agreed. Like, that's the problem. That's the problem with Bo Nix, and that's been the problem basically this whole year. So, I don't know, man. It's just really frustrating because we know what Bo Nix can become. We genuinely know what Bo Nix can become, and it's disheartening. It really is. His mechanics are still an issue, but they can be very easily fixed in the offseason. Um, I know Bo tries to hide it, but it's beyond obvious he sees the hate, and it certainly bothers him. Yeah, I think you're right in that situation. Like, I think he definitely knows that the fan base is pretty fed up with him. I know that he knows that people are pretty unhappy with him. I know that he knows that people are just not thrilled with the way that things have gone for him this season. But yeah, um, dang, LOL. I would want JK back if it was $3 million less per year. Yeah, I think if you're going to offer him that, you probably got to go incentive heavy. Because the reality of the situation is he's a guy who's never played a full 17. Now, this was a freak accident, and it's nothing you can chalk up to his durability or anything like that. But yes, I would like for it to be $3 million or less per year, and I would like it to be heavily incentive based. He reminded me of Cam Chancellor. He did. Like, the way he played was so. I don't even know how to put it. It was very Cam Chancellor-esque. You were very correct in that situation. We all have to believe. Yeah, I agree. I felt like it started in that New Orleans preseason game. Honestly, I think it started before that. I think it started in San Francisco, the first one, because honestly, our offense and our defense both looked bad in that game. Our offense and our defense both looked really, really bad in that first San Francisco game. But yeah. But he actually played really well in that New Orleans game. Like, we were dead in the water, and he made two amazing plays. Yeah. Do you see a big year 3 for Bo in 2026? I mean, that's theoretically when it should happen. Like, that's 2 years in the system. It's 2 years for the team to, or that's 3 years in the system. It's year 3 is particularly when these quarterbacks like break out. And yeah, but we'll see. After the Bengals game last year, I'll never stop believing in Bo. Yeah, that Bengals game was a thriller. That Bengals game was amazing. So, I don't know, man. I was really happy with that Bengals game too. So, yeah, that 49ers game was very bad. That 49ers game was terrible. And what's funny is that people were just like, well, it's preseason. You can't put too much stock into it. I'm like, dude, it was our starting unit against their backups. We looked like shit. Cut the penalties in half and you fixed 90% of the problem on offense. Yeah, agreed. Like, I don't disagree because, it's a hard day to play quarterback in the NFL when you're living in 1st and 20. It's a hard day to play quarterback in the NFL when you're in like 2nd and 18 or whatever. And it's just bad. It's really, really bad. So yeah, it's a tough day to play quarterback when you're in that situation, to be for sure. For sure. Yo, what's good, Darian? What is good, Darian? Got some nice late night Broncos talk coming to you guys in John Outside 2025. Oh, yeah. Who do you want to draft in 2026? I don't think it's a bad idea. There are like 6 positions where I'm like, all right, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with receiver. I'd be fine with interior offensive line. I'd be fine with tight end. I'd be fine with interior defensive line. Not because we need it, but because it's never a bad idea. And then I'd be fine with inside linebacker. So I guess 5 positions I'd be fine with. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. I also would like this team to trade back because honestly, we don't have a lot of quality on the offensive side of the ball. Like, the Russ trade is still hurting the offensive side of the ball. It does not hurt the defensive side of the ball. So yeah. Yeah. I will say it's clear the coach and Sean's are aware of these issues. It's definitely something that will be approved upon this offseason. It might just be a wild card exit. You know what? It very well could be. And that'd be disheartening, especially because this is a team that was supposed to be a legit Super Bowl contender. But oh well, such is life, I guess. Such is life, I guess. I'm referring to Bo. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. Like, he's one of those guys that I don't know what you need to do. Like, you just need to hire a quarterback coach, just have him work with Bo Nix like the entire year. I think Tim Jenkins put out a tweet that I thought was really smart. It was, all right, you have a system QB coach and you have a mechanics QB coach, and that's how it should be. Like, you get 2 in the building, and I think that's very smart. I think Davis Webb should be like the system QB coach, and then we'll see about the scheme QB coach. Oh, yeah, I already addressed that. We've seen Bo when he is in rhythm and has time to process is great. His team's showing different looks, and when his first read is covered, he gets jittery. You are almost right on the money. And unfortunately, I don't know how you fix this because, Bo Nix, he's one of those guys that he seems to play really, really well when, things are working, when the defense is getting turnovers. So when we win against bad teams, we usually have a tendency to just blow their doors off. And, it comes back to the defense. Like if we can get some short fields, then that'd be fantastic. But that's not what happened last Thursday. Tight end, interior offensive line, offensive tackle, or inside linebacker as one of our first picks in 2025. Yeah, that would be great. That would be great, wouldn't it? Kenyon Sadiq would be sick. It would. It would. Dude, like, oh my God, I would love Kenyon Sadiq. What is up with Ingram? My thing is, he's just Evan Ingram. Let's be honest. Evan Ingram has not been what we all thought he would be. And the reason I think I can boil it down to something. Sean Payton doesn't like guys who can't really block. And he was brought in as like a big slot receiver. You obviously go back to the fact that he was injured early in the year. And I think that's part of it. But at the end of the day, him and Nix just have not gotten on the same page. And also, I was a little skeptical when I signed Ingram because I was like, all right, he's not a downfield threat because the Jaguars never targeted him downfield. Like he had an ADOT of 5 over the past 3 years. But I was like, all right, we have a chain mover, and he hasn't even done that. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with Ingram truly, and I don't know how flexible it is. Is this the make or break year if they make it to the AFC Championship and lose, or will they bounce back next year? First of all, it's very, very hard to make it to the AFC Championship. But this year is not make it or break it. Like we don't have to start talking about make it or break it until probably next season. Like the reality of the situation is, like, I guess you could make an argument for it on the defensive side of the ball because you're probably losing JFM. You're probably losing Vance Joseph. Actually, I don't know if you're probably losing Vance Joseph, but it's up in the air. And, it's just really hard to make it back. Think about all the teams that said, no worries, we'll be back when they lost. Like you look at Detroit 2 years ago in the NFC Championship. You look at Atlanta 28-3 Super Bowl. You look at Bengals when they lost the Super Bowl by a field goal. A lot of those teams said, we'll be back. And it's just like, will you? So if we actually do make it that far, then I don't know. I like Clint Kubiak. Dude, Seattle's offense. Fire. Bet the over on Broncos penalties. Yeah. Hope Lil Jordan Humphrey does an awesome job in blocking. Yeah, I agree. If Lil Jordan Humphrey can do an awesome job in blocking, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I feel like Father Time is catching up to Ingram. I don't disagree. Like he's a 31-year-old tight end. He's dealt with injury problems throughout his career. Tight end is a rough position, and he's taken a lot of hits over the past 2 or 3 years. He's been one of the most targeted guys in the NFL. So I don't disagree, man. I don't disagree. I think year 3 will be a big tell for this team because, to be honest, most of our offense is just rookies and sophomores. Yeah, I agree. Like the biggest thing we'll see, like next year we get our answer about whether or not Bo Nix has it or not, because it'll be year 3 and he'll have no more excuses. If he truly does suck next year, then that'd be bad. But I think he'll be fine. I think he'll turn it around. And I think next year he'll actually have a breakout. What key free agent players would you like us to get in free agency next year? I don't know. I haven't really looked at the free agency class like too in depth, but probably Njoku is one I have like circled right now because we do still need inline tight end. And yeah, the Bengals did make it back to the AFC Championship. No, they just lost right. Well, yes, but they didn't make it back to the Super Bowl, and that's the furthest they went in the Zach Taylor era. Now, they did only lose by 3 to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. You are correct, but point goes without saying, people say we'll be back after a deep playoff run, and a lot of the times they don't go back. So yeah, that was my point there. Can Bo Nix be the next May, or can Drake May and Bo Nix be the next Manning versus Brady? Very well could be. The problem is only one of those quarterbacks look like he is playing in that Hall of Fame caliber where they play right now, and it is unfortunately not the guy on our team. But I mean, if Nix does take that next step forward and we do have a meaningful playoff game against the Patriots, then yes, I also wouldn't be able to. We have about $50 million in cap space, but you got to remember that we're going to have some extensions kicking in, and we're also going to get what's his name? I'm trying to think. God, that one guy. Yeah. We could make some room. We could cut Powers. Honestly, we could cut Ingram, which I think that'd be stupid, but we could do it. We could cut Powers and save 10 mil. I don't think that's a good idea though, but yeah, like roughly over the cap has it at 50 million. But I think that number typically gets a lot smaller when it's closer to free agency time. Should we extend Malcolm Roach? Yes, 1000%. If the team can make it happen, we should 1000% extend Malcolm Roach. I think we can survive the loss of Vance Joseph. The players make him look great. He's a genius at his defensive schemes. A lot of defensive minds could do more with our players. See, I don't agree, though, because you're seeing some diabolical stuff. You are seeing some diabolical stuff cooked up by Vance Joseph lately. Like, you're seeing him literally throw some insane stuff out there. Like, remember the blitz against the Eagles we ran where it was Hufanga and Jaquan McMillan, like, coming in at once and they somehow didn't run into each other? Like, Vance Joseph, he is a very aggressive defensive coordinator. And it's really tough for me to say that a lot of defensive minds could do more with our players because I feel like sometimes he just throws the wackiest stuff out there and it just works. And, you're not wrong in saying that, hey, maybe if we had like a guy like Mike McDonald, who knows? But ultimately, he has done one of the best coordinator jobs in the NFL this year, like bar none. So I'm not going to say that somebody could do more with our players. Do you see Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter as a potential head coaching candidate? Yes, absolutely. Especially because he's been a guy that's been talked about a lot ever since he was at Michigan, and even 2022, before Michigan had won the national championship in 2023. I remember a lot of people talked about it. Yeah, no, Pat Cooper. I get, why people think that. But it like my philosophy is if something's broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like that's how I'm doing. And if you fire or if you move on from Joseph, or let's say he gets a head coaching job and then somebody schematically is not as strong, that could really suck. I like Jesse Minter. I do too. He impresses me a lot. Somebody in my TikTok comments said JFM might leave. It's probably happening. JFM is probably going to leave this upcoming offseason, which that sucks. But yeah. Vance Joseph is a great defensive coordinator. He's like Wade Phillips, great at defense, not a head coaching position. He will get offers, but I hope he stays. I get what you're saying. Like, but I don't know. I think it's not impossible to think that he's grown since then, since he was here, because I remember Arizona hired him and everyone was just laughing at Arizona for hiring him. But even when he was hired here, I was like, why? But then Vance Joseph is a really good defensive coordinator. But yeah, I don't know. He will get offers, but I hope he stays too, man. I hope he pulls a Ben Johnson, and I hope he does, leave when the timing's right, because I don't want him to go somewhere and fill out. If he's going to leave us for a promotion, I want him to have a lot of success. And I mean that truthfully. Who hires Brian Daboll? That's a good question. I don't know who's going to have offensive coordinator openings this year. Now, unfortunately for Daboll, maybe it's not like, maybe he is one of those guys that he gets the offer, but he's not going to run the offense. Honestly, I could see Buffalo firing McDermott, and I could see them, or no, not McDermott. I could see Buffalo firing Joe Brady, and I could see Daboll going back there. Talib said it himself. We had great talent, but you got to believe in the scheme and play calling as a player. Yes, 1000%. Because if you're not bought in, then yeah, I don't know. That could be pretty dangerous. I think if I was Vance Joseph, I'd take a pay cut just to help this team get to the Super Bowl. I agree, but with legacies on the line, with families to take care of, yeah. Somebody on my TikTok comments, Darian, shout out to you for being active in here. Shout out for the gifts, man. Thank you. Either way, yes, Vance Joseph did ruin Isaiah Simmons. Like, the thing about Vance Joseph, he's done a phenomenal job here, but he has never, ever been a guy that you could rely on to develop those, like, tweener inside linebacker prospects. And we've just, like, his teams have just wasted so many picks on linebackers. You think about Isaiah Simmons, you think about David Collins, you think about even Drew Sanders here. I think I would call a wasted pick at this point, but yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna look up something about Vance Joseph. Like, I feel like he always does a pretty good job of convincing the team that he can do what's it called? That he can. I don't know. It's just kind of odd. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What should be the game plan for the offense to overcome with a victory tomorrow? Honestly, if I'm Sean Payton, I start this game out by throwing deep. Like, I'm just going to be honest. Like, I think you come into this game, if I'm Sean Payton, I come into this game with one objective and one objective only, which is to shut people up about Bo Nix. Like, genuinely. I think the offensive game plan for tomorrow is I'm coming out and I'm being aggressive as possible. Like, maybe if we win the toss, I'm taking the football. Like, that's how I feel about, how we're going to need to be. We're going to need to be very aggressive with this game. We really are. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that, but we'll see. Oh, sweet. Sweet. Okay. Wait, where's my... here we go. Here we go. Okay, I think my TikTok live is going to look a lot sicker now that I have... now I have that. All right, Eagles hire Brian Dable. That would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense, especially because they always seem to do really well with their coordinators or whatever. They always seem to do very well with their hires. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty sick. That would be sweet. If we were to if the Eagles were to hire Brian Dable, I think that would be like a home run. I think if they were to hire Brian Dable, that would be probably the best case scenario for them. I'm not even kidding, because honestly, there's not many proven offensive coordinators out there. I think Dable did get I don't know whose fault it is that it didn't work out in New York. I think ultimately the NFL doesn't really care either, but I think the NFL ultimately doesn't really care about whose fault it is either, but we'll see. We will see. And I'm adding a source to my TikTok. Mm-hmm. Follow me. All right, I got the chat going crazy in here. All right, I'm glad I finally get to showcase my chat on YouTube onto my TikTok viewers. Yes, sir. All right, Darian, welcome in. Welcome in, my man. Wait, what? All right, either way. So, yeah, now time for me to start getting back to some of these comments. All right. Will the Bengals fire Zach Taylor? No, I don't think they will, just simply because of the fact that I just don't think so, because yeah, I don't know. That's odd. Since they were able to go to the Super Bowl, able to go to the Super Bowl and Marvin Lewis got so much time, then I don't know. I just don't think that they would ever do something like that. But yeah, crazy to think that Sean Payton could have gone from Drew Brees to Mahomes. Yeah, you're right. That would have been crazy. Although I think he is kind of lying about the fact that he said he would have taken Mahomes there, because of the fact that he said that they were going to take Lattimore no matter what. So I think it was going to be Lattimore no matter what. Run the ball. Yeah, agreed. Split the plays between run, pass, run, deep, pass. Yeah, agreed. We do need some mix-up. Darian Bustamante saying had to switch over. That'd be fan. Yeah, I'm glad. Welcome in, my friend. UFC got boring. Yep. Yep. A lot of people have been saying that. So sweet. I hope Harvey rushes for over 100 yards. That'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick. Like Harvey going nuclear tomorrow would be really good for this team. Um, Nathan, where'd I get the Bronco head? My dog chewed up mine and have been looking for one since. I got mine on eBay. Like literally just look up Bronco foam head and that'll be it. That'll be it. So yeah. Do you feel play action works or fake the bootleg for Bo? I feel like we're doing it so much that it's starting to not work in defenses. Just expect it. Hoping the screen game picks up this week. Dude, me too. Me too. We need to stay away from the screen passes, but I'm kind of curious to see how it does with Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, I know people are frustrated with the screens, and rightfully so, but we'll see. We will see. Troy Franklin does need to stop dropping the ball. Dude, Troy Franklin just needs to play better flat out. Like, Troy Franklin has not been very good this year. Like, I'm not going to, actually, I shouldn't say he hasn't been good, but he's been just too inconsistent. There's going to be more screens. Yeah, you're probably right. You are probably right in that sense, which that really, really sucks, but no, I get it. I get it. And it's really bad that it is we're in the situation we are, but oh well. I hope not. Didn't we release Surefield? Yes. Surefield is gone, which is why honestly I think the screen game is going to be better tomorrow. Sean does not trust the running backs. No, he does not. But I think if he truly, really didn't trust them, then we would have brought someone else in. Why hasn't Deuce Vaughn been elevated from the practice squad? He's not a replacement for any of these other guys. He's a replacement for Jaleel McLaughlin if something happens. So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling about that. I want to see Mercedes Lewis get a touchdown. That'd be fantastic. That would be awesome, but I don't know. To be honest, Sean, even in New Orleans, had to run it as play sheet. Yeah, he always has had consistent issues with being consistent with the run. What's frustrating is last year we were cooking on the ground against the Chargers, and he just, for whatever reason, decided not to run the football, which that sucked. Surefield and Troutman have been so bad. They have been really bad. And I think that's part of the reason why the screen game's just been awful this year is because I don't know, man. It does suck. It does suck. Good night. Gonna put on it. Mercedes Lewis anytime touchdown. Good night, guys. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking it out with me. Thank you for being a great viewer on here. Thank you for just everything tonight. Didn't we release Surefield? We did. We did release Trent Surefield, unfortunately. So, actually, I shouldn't say unfortunately. He was cheeks this year. He was absolute cheeks this year. Had Surefield gone yet? Well, Surefield isn't on the team anymore. All of you are correct in that Trent Surefield got released. Go Lil Jordan Humphrey. Yes. Go Lil Jordan Humphrey. Go LJH. Sign Blake Watson off the Titans practice squad. It's not that easy though. Like if it were that easy of like, oh, just sign Blake Watson, then I feel like we would have seen that a lot earlier, if that makes sense. I feel like we would have seen that a lot earlier. So I don't know, man. Stick to the inside zone / ISO runs. Yeah, but if you're like handing it off to Harvey, you just got to rely on his athleticism and his juice to hit the corner. I hope we move on from Troutman. I agree. Like I think Troutman did have his place in the NFL, but he's been such a liability, like being our inline tight end with the most snaps on this team, that it's bad. We need to upgrade this upcoming offseason, and we need to upgrade terribly. Unfortunately, the overall first down success rate has been bad. Yes, it has. We have been bad first down success rate. I heard it was between the Broncos and New England. I'm picking up Stephon Diggs. Was that true? I don't deny that we had some sort of interest, but we were also like Darian says this right here. I doubt we were super serious on it. And knowing Stephon Diggs, he 1000% just went to the team that offered him the most money. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like he's a 31-year-old dude who's coming off an ACL tear. He'd be stupid to not accept what New England did. So yeah, if we can play tomorrow like the Falcons slash, oh my God, if we played Atlanta tomorrow or KC tomorrow like we played Atlanta, like I don't know. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. That's insane. Oh well. Um, it's clear. It is clear that we want another wide receiver, especially because you think about what we've done in the draft the past 2 years. What have we done in the draft the past 2 years? Uh, we've taken a wide receiver, we've taken a corner, and we've taken a linebacker, or I shouldn't say linebacker, but an edge rusher or a pass rusher. So it's clear that this team is going to keep adding to the wide receiver room. It's clear that they're not entirely happy with the way it is, but yeah, I'm convinced a true wide receiver talent wouldn't want to come to Denver. Sean spreads the ball around too much. Uh, the reason I don't agree with this is because Michael Thomas, I'm sure, got the most targets in the NFL over a 4-year span, 5-year span, and he didn't just walk into that. Like obviously, Brees fed it to him, and you could say whatever you want about they didn't have many people behind him at that point. I mean, besides Kamara and what's his name, Tre'Quan Smith. I mean, Phil Sutton. Feel for Sutton because he's getting older and he's been clutch lately. He has been very clutch lately. Cortland Sutton has been absolutely amazing this year. Or I shouldn't say been amazing this year, but I feel bad for him. I feel bad with the way things have been working out for him. I feel like we need depth at interior offensive line. I agree. Like I think Palczewski has been playing very, very well in relief duty. Like Palczewski's been playing incredible in relief duty. But he's not a guy that you look at and it deters you from significant investment. Like if the Broncos want to draft a first-round offensive lineman, Palczewski is not one of those guys that's going to deter them because Palczewski is very valuable to this offensive line, but in the way that he can line up anywhere, in the sense that he can be that sixth offensive lineman when you throw him out there on the field. So yeah, Palczewski is very important to this team. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a starter on this team. He's not a true starter on this team. But yes, he's been very good so far. Good, yes. Sutton getting doubled and no one has stepped up enough. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's not just Cortland Sutton's fault, or it's not anybody in particular's fault that we look like this on the offensive side of the ball. But yeah. Yeah, but you're talking about free agency wide receivers. Yeah. You are correct. Like, yeah, I think you're right. If you're if you're drafted, you really don't have a choice. But free agency wide receivers, I get what you're saying. But the free agency wide receiver class is not that good. It's like Mike Evans and a whole bunch of mid. Gargiulo did look really good before going down in the preseason, unfortunately. Center and guard, if we move on from Powers, yes, you are 1000% correct. Free agents would still come. I agree. Like, I feel like this front office does a pretty good job at persuading guys to come play here. But yeah, center and guard, though, if we move on from Powers, yeah, I think you're right. I think Wattenberg played better this past week or past game against the Raiders, but I still have not been really that impressed with him. Do you think it was smart to move on from Devon Vele? Like, all right, here's the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is that Devon Vele is, how do I put this? Like, he's a jag. He's not that special. Okay. Devon Vele is not very special. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. But the 4th-round pick, I feel like you really couldn't pass that up. But we are really missing Vele right now, in my opinion. Like, obviously, our struggles are independent of him. Like, he coming back would not, like, flip us around like that overnight. Because, honestly, he's not that good of a football player. Like, he was very reliable, but he is not that good. That being said, we could really, really use him. Like, we are missing him, in my opinion. Myers, would be ideal, but it depends on if we spent the money. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying there. So we'll see. We will see. Couldn't turn down the offer. Yeah, I agree. Like 3 years, 63 million, especially when New England was a bottom feeder last year. Like New England was, they offered him 3 years, 63 million. And it felt to me like one of those, well, we're not signing him to be good. We're signing him to be a reliable presence. And he's been really good. Credit to him. Diggs. Go Wattenberg. Yeah, I like Wattenberg. We could have done more to replace him. Yes. The problem is when you trade him in August, there's nothing you can do to replace him until obviously you could have traded for someone else, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Go Bulls and McGlinchey. Yeah, dude, these guys, I love both of these guys so much. Like both these guys are captains for a reason. I've loved having Bulls and McGlinchey. But either way, I would for Jacoby Myers. Me too. I meant for Vele. Yeah. Like we could have done more to replace him, but that would have cost a lot more than just waiting until the draft. Can we trade Jaleel? Jaleel has no value. Like I feel like if a team really wanted Jaleel, I feel like we would have shipped him off. But no, Jaleel McLaughlin, in my opinion, does not have that much value. How are we feeling about Troy? Not very good. Like I'm gonna be honest, like his stocks have kind of been up and down this year, but as of right now, they're pretty down for me, and it feels like he just really has not taken that step and provided consistent play that we were all hoping for. Good depth. All right, it is 11 p.m. I've been at this for an hour, 45 minutes. That went by really quickly, but I think Darian says it really well. Unreliable. Wait, I think unreliable. I think he's saying not unreliable, but not a wide receiver too, which I think you're completely correct. I think that'd be great. But yeah, guys, shout out to y'all in the chat. Shout out to obviously Rodney. Shout out to Paul Davis, Darian, T Fishes. And shout out to y'all for chilling with me before this game tomorrow night because this is big. It's a big game. And I'm happy that y'all got to spend the eve of the game with me. So obviously I'm very spoiled the fact that I get to do this, but y'all are amazing. So I'm really, really happy that I got the chance to hang out with y'all. I heard that Roma Dunze's dad wants his son out of Chicago. I don't think that's true. Like with Chicago's offense really catching fire lately, I don't think that's entirely true. But maybe it does. Either way, yeah, go Broncos. Go Broncos, Rodney. Once again, yeah, Darian Illinois. All right. I'm gonna get out of here, but once again, Darian Bustamante, I think. Bustamante. Rodney, y'all are amazing. Paul Davis, y'all are amazing too. And yeah, go Broncos. Let's beat those Chiefs. I will be back tomorrow night, hopefully celebrating a dub. Cheers.